and welcome to my little show that I like to call Spill It. It's another episode. This is Spill It. My name is Marcus, and this is a show where I get to bring people into the Spill It community, and they become little teacups in this little community of ours. And we get to connect people together, inspire others, and help people learn something new. This is episode 61. It is Pride Month, ladies and gentlemen, and all of us in between. We are talking about relationships, and Mr. Gideon Allen will be joining us at 7:10 p.m. So make sure that you stay tuned for that. It is Pride Month, and I wanted to say that obviously all the way through September, we're going to have guests on, or like from different parts of the LGBTQ plus community, and they're going to be talking about a range of different subjects. It's going to be an epic month. So happy Pride, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. If you are joining, make sure that you say hello as well. There are 3 things that I ask for, and they are as simple as this. I want you to like, share, and comment. If you like this, it means that, you know, things push it up and they go, oh, look, this is watchable content. Let's push this out to more people. And then if you share it, it means that other people get to come into the Spill It fold. People might watch this and go, actually, this is something that, you know, we want to get involved with. Let's give this a follow. Let's give this a watch. And also, if you comment, it means that we get to interact with you. Your comments will pop up on the screen. We get to answer your questions. We get to just interact with you. You are part of the story. So if you have got comments, make sure that you drop them into the comments section. If you haven't checked out our other episodes yet, then you can do. All you have to do is head over to the Spill It website. It's scrolling across the bottom here. www.spillit.uk, and you'll be able to catch up on all of the episodes, all 60 episodes, 60 previous episodes, plus this one, if you are watching this on playback or wanting to, you know, listen to the brand new podcast over on Amazon Music and Audible. Oh, I just gave away some of my announcements, but oh well, we'll go through them again in a bit. But yes, if you haven't checked out other episodes yet, then you can do. All you do is head over to spillit.co. Sorry, let me start that again. If you haven't checked out our other episodes yet, then you can do. All you have to do is head over to the Spill It website, www.spillit.uk, and you will be able to see all of the episodes that we have done up until today's episode over on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. There you will be able to see the video, the visual podcast, the visual show. And if you're wanting to listen to me on the go, on the move, on your runs, in the gym, in the bed, in the bath, in the shower, wherever, then you can do, because you can now listen to this over on podcasts as well. We are streaming over on 12 different podcast sites, but the 3 main ones, you've got Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. I say that, but obviously we're going to go through that in a second with the announcements, because there are 2 more. Love it. Make sure that you get those comments and questions in. It is as much as your show as it is mine, and it is Gideon's as well. And if you've got comments or you've got questions for him or for me, then you can just drop them in the comments and we can interact with them. It's, you know, we're a friendly bunch here. We're a friendly bunch. Drop us a comment and just say hi, just say hello and where you're watching from. Do it for me. I mean, you don't have to, you know, whatever. It's up to you. Okay, it's announcement time. So, announcements. I've put it all over Facebook. I've talked about it twice already because I'm useless at keeping secrets, but there you go. So, announcements. Over the weekend, I received an official invitation. I received 2 official invitations because we passed a milestone, ladies and gentlemen. A milestone. We went past 500 downloads per episode. So I've got 500 people who have liked, subscribed, and followed the podcast. So that's not talking about the live show. That's talking about just the podcast. So, you know, in the ears. But we have surpassed over 500 people who have subscribed to the podcast, which means that every single week, 500 people listen to the Spill It podcast, which is phenomenal. It actually means that we're in like the top 30% of podcasts, which is brilliant. And we stream in like 14 different countries worldwide as well. It's brilliant. Honestly, it means so much. So I just wanted to say thank you. But also, because of that, Spill has been officially invited onto the platforms of Amazon Music as well. It's quite hard to get onto Amazon Music. They don't just invite anybody. But there you go. So I'm now on Amazon Music, and you can now listen to Spill It on Audible as well. That is brilliant. And I just want to say thank you so much, guys out there, for supporting me since June 2020. This has grown in just over a year to where it is now. And it's just going to keep growing. And it's all down to you guys. So I just wanted to say a massive thank you to you. Hello, Michael Barbados. I hope you're okay over in Barbados. How is it? How's the weather over there? We have blue skies here. I mean, I'm in Preston. I don't know about the rest of the country. We have blue skies. We're British. We talk about the weather quite a lot. But how is the weather over in Barbados, Michael? Let me know. And that takes us nicely to a brand new segment that I have got for you. Ooh. That's right. It is tea time. It's tea with Marcus. So this is going to be a brand new section. So basically, how this came about was that I found an article online, and honestly, I bled hatred. Like, it came out of every single pore. I hated it so much. There was so much venom for this particular post, and I thought it'd be really, really cool if I just found something like that, or people sent me in articles for me to read and just basically tell my tea about it. So there you go. So this is a brand new section where if you guys see anything, then all you have to do is send it over to me. You can send it to my email address, marcus@spillit.uk, or you can send it to me on all of my socials. You'll be able to find them on the website. And if you find any articles, tag me in them, send them to me, whatever, and I will put them up onto this and we will basically talk about it. So this was Leela's put very refined. It is very refined. I wanted like an intro that was like, oh, sipping tea. But yeah, that's what I came up with. So yeah, very refined, Leela, very refined. So yeah, anyway, so this is the article that I saw, and I want you guys to put in your comments about what you think about this. I'm gonna let them have it now. Here we go. Singer Talia Storm, age 22, backs over 40s being banned from nightclubs. I don't want to walk in and see my dad. You know what, Talia? Get lost, get out. Not having it. So basically, I mean, I'm not over 40. I'm not over 40. Oh, I'll put that out there, okay? I am not over 40. However, I do think that who cares what age you are? If you are, I mean, when I get to 40, if I'm still wanting to go out, I'll still go out. I don't care. But it just really annoyed me. Like, she's 22 years old, and she's like, in the actual article, she had quoted that she is going into her prime at 22. No, back up, get back in your box. I'm not having that. You only get to your prime realistically at around 30 years old. And I'm going to openly say that. I don't care what anybody else says. It is about 30 years old that you start getting into your prime. That's when you actually start realizing, actually, it doesn't matter what I was like when I was 20 years old, looking up at people and thinking, oh, you're too old. No, you start getting to your prime about 30 years old. Fully believe that. 22 years old, she's going into her prime. She didn't want to walk in and see like her dad, a 40-year-old or over 40s. You know what? If you are 40 years old and you want to go and party, you go and party. And the thing is, as well, is that anybody that's been in town, like I've been into town so many times where I've seen like a really older person, like 50s, 60s, and they're proper like breaking out some moves on the dance floor. And I tell you what, all of the girls and the guys and whatever, they'll all go over and they'll start dancing with them because they think it's adorable. Well, you'll have none of that. And I tell you something as well. So one of the things that people have been saying is that, well, let's make an over 30s nightclub then. We'll make over 30s clubs and then we'll just go to those ones. That, I mean, I remember being 18 years old. This is my age now. So I remember being 18 years old and Squires, which is now obviously Switch. Squires used to only have an over 21s night on a Saturday. And I remember I was like thinking, I just want to be 21. I just want to go in on a Saturday night. And I loved that. I absolutely love that. So if we were to make over 30s, guaranteed all of these people who are under 30s would be like, oh no, I just want to go into the over 30s. But yeah, ultimately, shut your mouth, Talia. Not having it. Get back in your box. You're just trying to be relevant, and you're irrelevant. Irrelevant. Simple. Not having it. Into the comments. Good enough for go. I know, and that's where it's all come from. It's come from him. And I'm not having it. So I'm not about it. If I want to party, if I want to party when I'm 40 years old and I want to go to warehouse or wherever, then that's where I'm going to be. If I want to throw myself in the ball pit in Switch at 40 years old, then that is what I'm going to do. And no 22-year-old girl is going to tell me otherwise. So you know what, Talia? As I say, back in your box, back up. See you later. And she'll change the tune as well. As soon as she turns 40, as soon as she starts turning 30, she'll start going, oh, actually, I'm not actually that old now. So yeah, hush your mouth, Talia. That was my tea for today, ladies and gentlemen. That was my tea for today. Okay, so I've talked your ears off for just over 10 minutes, actually. And normally I only get 10 minutes because I put in this new section. I'm gonna like really passionate about this new section. So I've talked your ears off for over 10 minutes now. Gideon is waiting very, very patiently to come out. So can we have a bit of a round of applause? Some of your favorite emojis. Give me something. Just drop it into the comments box because here he is. Let's make him feel very, very welcome. And I was about to say very, very warm. That's not the right thing. Give him a very, very warm welcome because he's here. It is the gentleman of the hour. It is Mr. Gideon Allen. Hello, Gideon.
Oh, hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am very, very well. Thank you very much. Happy Spillit Pride. Thank you for joining us.
Pride. Of course. Thank you for having me.
No problem. I want your opinion, though, on my tea. Because before we get into it, I have to ask. So obviously, this is Talia Storm 22. No over 40s. That's what she's saying. What are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are if we like ban over 40s in clubs, like who am I going to pull? Because like, you know what I mean? We're getting dire. It's really bad out there. It's brutal. So
I need a wider market.
I do. I literally. So yeah, keep him in. I mean, we'll see how high I can go up the ladder.
Yeah, but why not? Why not? I love that. Well, before we get into it, are you ready to play a little game with me?
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. Well, here it is. It is the 5-second rule. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, and all of us in between. It is the 5-second rule. This is a game that I get to play with all of my guests. It's just a nice little icebreaker, just something just to pass the time and make us feel a little bit warm and welcome and at ease. And it's just a bit of fun. Basically, all I need you to do is name 3 somethings, and you've got 5 seconds to do so. Now, if you want to not be clean, then that's perfectly fine. If something pops into your top of the head and you think, oh, I best not say that, don't think about it too much. Just let it come out. It's fine. It's better out than in. That's what I say anyway. Are you ready to play?
Yeah, me. Oh, yeah, of course. I was in my own little world then. I was listening. I forgot I'm on the podcast. I was like,
You're watching the show. You're like in the audience. You're like, oh, this is a good show, isn't it?
So I keep smiling as well because I got really bad like resting bitch face. So I was like, but then I started getting twitches in my face, and I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah,
this episode is going to be epic.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Right, okay, cool. Oh dear. Right. Okay. Here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Question number 1. Name 3 things, or sorry, name 3 smells that make you gag.
Oh, okay. Like rotten egg, probably feet, and I don't know. Like garbage, like rubbish.
Well,
Yeah.
you got 2 in time, so we're gonna.
Oh yeah, I've got 5 seconds.
You got 5 seconds, yeah. We haven't got all night, Gideon.
Which was right. Okay.
That's what the countdown noise is for.
Okay. All right, I'm off my head today. Right,
It's fine. This is going to be really fun. This I can't wait.
Yeah.
Right. Name 3 things a teacher does.
Annoy people, give people detention, and expel you.
Ooh, just in time. There you go. Oh, you must have had like really bad teachers.
Oh, they were all awful. I think I've only had like a small few I like. Only like college tutors were nice though. So yeah.
Yvonne is not happy in the comments because she's a teacher.
Oh well.
Get over it. Okay, your last question of the evening before we start. Name 3 things you do when no one is looking.
Oh well, that judge people, and I don't know. Like, you know,
so
I'm rubbish at this.
So for those people who are listening on the podcast and you wouldn't have actually seen the visual, can you just put it into words, Gideon, what your answer number 1 was?
Masturbation.
There
you go.
Oh, I love it. I was just in stitches so much that I completely missed your second one. What was your second answer?
Oh, I don't know. Like, what did I say? Was it judge people?
Maybe judge people. I don't know.
Yeah.
I honestly, I was rocking from side to side. I was in stitches from the first one that I completely missed the second one. Well, anyway, so you scored. You scored a very, very respectable 6. Well done.
Is that good?
That's good. Yeah.
Oh,
we've only ever had like 2 people that have managed to do the whole thing. So.
Oh, okay. Right. Thank you. I'll take it.
Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I did.
Awesome. As I say, it's just a nice little icebreaker, and yeah, well, as long as you had fun, that's what counts. Linda says, "Give him 9." No, he didn't ask. He didn't answer 9. Linda.
I mean, do as Linda says. I got 9. What can I do?
Well done, Gideon. Right, okay, let's get into it because it is Spill It's Pride Month, and we are going to be talking about relationship and dating. Yeah. And I was literally about to say, you have a whole lot of experience in relationship and dating, but I don't know how that would sound.
Go for it. I'm dating disaster.
But we're going to get into it, and obviously I want Linda said, last question deserves 9 because of the hand gestures that were included. Okay, moving on. And so I want to, obviously we're going to get into it. We're going to get into relationships and dating. However, because people might not know who you are, who is Gideon Allen?
Well, isn't that a question? I guess it just depends who you ask. Just multiple different variants of me running about. So, yeah, I guess Gideon Allen, in a nutshell, crazy. I'm off my head half the time.
I can tell.
So I know. I don't know how I get through life. I'm just like Hakuna Matata. Is it Hakuna Matata?
Hakuna
Matata. Yeah. No worries.
No worries. It means no worries.
I'd say trying to be like an actor. We'll see how that goes. I mean, me life, that's how I get through life. I'm always like, I imagine me life's a show, like a TV show. And I'm always like, I need to remember that it's not, because I get to the point where I'm like, so say if I'm walking down the street like that, I look at the imaginary camera and be like, and people have seen me do it. It's like I just saw now. So like when I was watching the podcast just there, I forgot I'm on it. I was like, that's me. So I don't know if this is answering your question, but I'm off my head. So
to be fair, I absolutely love that. I mean, we all, I think it comes from like obviously being like a theatrical background.
yeah.
So I am from a theatrical background, but I'm more of the dancer. So in my head, when I'm walking down the street, I feel like I'm in a music video. So it's like my feet go into the beat of Britney Spears' Womanizer. And like in my head, I'm just in a music video. I'm like lip syncing down the street and all that lot. So yeah, I completely get it. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
you'd never have to change that
yeah.
ever.
I'll keep going. Let's just see if it works. One
Yeah.
day I'll look to the side and there will be a camera
There
there.
will be a camera. There you go. I mean, you could do it now if you want to. You could walk past and just go, oh.
Oh, hello. Didn't see you there.
See, the thing is, we should have what we should have done is like rewound, and then done it all over again, and that's how you should have made your entrance.
Or maybe there's always next time if you want me back.
Always next time. Always next time. I love it. I love it. So, what I want to know is because we're going to talk about relationships and dating. So, how is your relationship and dating life at present?
Oh God, awful. Like, what do you do? I don't know where I'm going wrong. Literally, if I could date myself, I would, which sounds really egotistical, but so be it. Because I think I'm great. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like I'm very old fashioned though. I'd say minus the gay stuff, like because that's it's always been there. But I mean, yeah. But you get what I mean. I'm just sort of like. I don't know. I'd literally say I'm like a hopeless romantic living in a lustful world.
I love that. I love that. A hopeless romantic in a, did you say a loveless world?
Oh, lust. What did I say?
A lustful world.
Lustful, yeah.
Lustful world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. But relationship and dating, obviously, you've got this like idea of what it is like now, today for you in a way.
Yeah.
Has that changed over time? Like how because obviously we've got to link this into obviously the LGBTQ plus community and dating with like as a gay male.
Yeah.
Just talking about, when you were younger, when you first came out, what was the world like then with relationships and dating?
Oh gosh. Well, when I was younger, when everyone's like, oh, they always knew what their sexuality was. I didn't. I was like in my own little world, as I always am. So like we're just going through high school stuff. I hated high school. That was depressing. So I was just there on my little antidepressants every day, like a relationship last thing on my mind. And then obviously when I left, I thought, oh yeah, that's quite interesting. That. So I just basically I can't even remember when I came out. I didn't really have like one of those big dramatic things. I think I was drunk to my friend at Diarmid and I was on the beach making a fire, as you do. So yeah, and that's pretty much like the first person I came out to. And then from there, everyone just kind of knew it was like a glass closet.
Yeah.
So I just didn't need to do the whole, hello, I'm here, I'm out. Like, I just can't be bothered. Like, just no time for it. What you see is what you get. So
And to be fair, I'm quite parallel to that as well. So I was very badly bullied in high school. High school was an absolute joke. And then when I left, like everybody, like what you said with like the glass closet, I've never really looked at it like that. I always just looked at it as people knew about me before I even knew who I was. And it took me a long, long time to come to terms with who I was. And I just saw like loads of people in relationships and people were like, why are you never in a relationship, Marcus? And I'm like, because I'm 15 years old or because I'm 16 and I don't care about relationships. Like that was me. And then I was on a drunken night out and I came out to a friend. And there was no like big moment, big reveal or anything like that. And then as I didn't really tell people who I was or like what I identified I was. It was more a case of I'm just me. Like, one day I might be with a girl, one day I might be with a guy, or I don't know. I'm discovering who I am, and it doesn't really matter about what anybody else thinks. I'll just do what I want to do, and I'll be just me. And I always used to just say that, like, my coming out story was the fact that I was coming out as Marcus, but like being authentically me rather than this mask that I put up because of the shitheads back in school.
Yes.
But yeah, relationships and dating back in the day was just
Just like a hookup.
non-existent. Well, it was
Was it a hookup?
non-existent. No,
Oh,
I would say so. Yeah, I would say it was more of a hookup, but it was non-existent at the same time. Like, because you kind
right.
of, I don't know what it was like with you, but for me,
Mm,
it was more like you didn't know. Like, there was no education about how you would
mm.
find out if somebody was or wasn't or
Yeah.
whatever. And people, when I was younger, they weren't just freely coming out all the time
Mm.
either. So it was quite difficult. How did
Yeah.
you maneuver through that?
Through like just coming out and like dating
Um,
and stuff like that.
yeah, really, like actually finding people or speaking to people or like trying to have that connection with people whilst you were younger and you came out.
I'm not really sure. I guess I just sort of like my support network was just having really good friends. And then just from that, because I don't really have like a circle of like gay allies or anything like that. It's just me and my friends. I mean, like half of them are like lesbian. I tend to have a lot of lesbian friends. I don't know why. It just happens. Hey ho. I mean, yeah, maybe in past life I was a lesbian. I was like,
Maybe.
woman, who knows? But yeah, so I'd say my friends are just like my support network, and then the way I maneuver through things is just kind of alcohol. Alcohol helps. So that's pretty much always got a bottle to hand just in case. £3.30 from Tesco. But yeah, in terms of like just dating and stuff like that, I think I got really good like gaydar because I just people I know. I'm like, I know, and I know what they are too. I'm like, are you like pan? Are you like gay, like full on, or are you like? So I just know. It's just a gift, gifted the trade. So yeah, I just seem to just walk into situations, and then I'm like, oh, I'm dating this person. Can't keep up with myself. Like, no one can. Like, I message my friends and I'm like, he's broke me heart. And they're like, which one? Because there's multiple. Every week there's a different boy, which makes me sound a bit like a whore. But I'm old fashioned in the sense that, like, I've got my free date rule. So obviously, like, but people always think that's like hanky panky. And I'm like, oh no, free date for like a kiss. And then it does lead to the other stuff, but you gotta hold back. But you get the sentiment. So yeah, I'd say stick with the free date rule because that's how you know if they actually like you or if they're just there for a good time. And with me, it's a great time, the best.
So yeah, I get
So,
that. It's the three date rule, and that is
yeah.
quite gentlemanly as well.
Mhm.
Let's
Yeah,
let's be honest. You know, just
yeah,
don't put out on the first date. There was always
yeah.
that was what used to be said when people were younger and all
Mhm.
that lot. And you know, it's still right now.
Yeah.
How do you think gay relationships differ to heterosexual relationships?
I'd say there's like less gay people in one area than there will be with straight people. There'll be more straight people just on average than there is gay people. So when you're like dating someone, odds are they're like someone who like has dated your ex or something like that, or everyone's been with everyone. And I'm just like, I can't keep up. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like a jigsaw and piecing them all together. I'm like, oh, so that's how you know that one. And then no time for that. So I've like when I was on Tinder, I had to branch out. I thought 30-mile radius because you put it anything lower than 20, they've all been with each other with just no time for it. But I don't understand. So yeah, it puts me off as well. If they tell me that they've been with someone, I'm like, oh no,
Yeah.
like no, just knocks me sick. I was literally on a date, and this was a few weeks ago, and the guy was nice and stuff like that, but there was no spark. And also, his ex was a porn star, so I'm like, how can I compete with that? But then I remembered I'm a superstar, so
Hey.
me. So went on the date. It was a bit boring. He didn't have much conversation. I was like, well, at least you tried. You know what I mean? But you are the weakest link. Goodbye. So I got the point of my story. Oh yeah, I remember now. So he, what's it called? Told me that he knew someone who like lives near me, and then he told me the person's name, and I was like, I was like, oh, it's not. And then I said it. And then he was like, yeah. He was like, why have you been there? I was like, I've got self-respect. And then, but obviously that's an insult because he'd been there. So I was just like, just drop me off. I'll get out here. So he was like, oh, thanks for that. I went, well, I can't take it back. And I can't say I didn't mean it because I did. Like, I meant every word. Minging. Like, no, like, and not just looks wise, because I've been with some goonies. Do you know what I mean? Well, I always go for personality as well. And honestly, and no one can say I don't go for personality. You just have to look who I was with last. There you go. Like, questionable. But yeah, he said that he'd been with him, and I was like, oh God. And that was enough. That was the final straw. I thought, you're boring. Get me out of here. I'm a celebrity. I'm just trying to be me. So I've just no time for it. I can't do it.
I love that. I'm a celebrity. So with regards to because I completely get it. Obviously, somehow like within the gay community that people are always connected, and it's because there's not that many. So obviously, for the people who are listening at home or watching at home, then if you imagine like a heterosexual relationship, there are male and there are female, and there are obviously, say in inverted commas, an equal amount of males and females within obviously that town or city or within the area. With people who identify as gay, there aren't that many people within that area, or there is, but obviously not as many as obviously your heterosexual people. So yeah, you're right. Like it's hard to find someone that isn't connected to whoever, and then obviously and everybody will have that in their head as well. Like even in heterosexual relationships where they don't want to be with somebody that they know that somebody else has already been with them.
Yeah.
So obviously reduce that even further, and that's the playing field that the gay community has, which is it's definitely it's definitely laughable, let's say that. But you mentioned you mentioned Tinder. Now I wanted to move on to obviously dating apps, because there are a few out there. And how do you think dating apps have changed the way that relationships and dating works in the real world?
I would say it's almost like a false representation of a person. It's the person they believe they are, and it's like, no, I'll tell you who you are. I don't want to read your bio. I think it should just be like common interests, and then you can go from there. But I just think it's almost like your portrayal of yourself, and it's like, well, that version of you sounds great, but that's not what I got on the date. So I think people are a bit clouded by that. I think best option is to get like maybe a family member or a friend to write your bio, and maybe some realistic photos. So that would help. Do you know? You always get those odd ones as well, where they take multiple like really nice photos, like professionally done, and then at the end they're like eating Cheerios or something, dead up close, and there's usually like a little cat meme or so. I've no time for that. I'm like, oh, which way do you swipe? I don't know. Well, I've uninstalled it at the moment. Yeah, just not for me. It's just giving me central, isn't it? Like, literally, I'm getting arthritis in my finger just from out swiping. Can't do it.
do you think dating apps like Tinder, and obviously there's Grindr as well, there are obviously others, but obviously because it's Pride Month, we are talking specifically about LGBTQ plus, and obviously there is Tinder, but the main one is obviously Grindr within the gay community. Do you think that those types of apps, or these types of apps, have basically ruined like normal dating and relationships, and it's more the hookup culture?
Definitely, it's more hookup now. I mean, I never used Grindr. To me, that's a red flag. I went on a date with someone to Avon Park, which, as you do, just a stroll, fed some ducks, all that lot. It was night time, so there were no ducks. But still. And then he says to me, he goes, oh, this is like my first Grindr date. I was like, Do you know what I mean? Grinder. I was like, I'm not from Grinder. And he was like, what did we match on? I'm like, Tinder. And then he was just, I was like, I've never used that. So got rid of him. But Grinder, a Grinder, you know someone's not serious if they're on Grinder. So you got to get rid. That is a hookup app. It literally is. I've been on it, like, not like just to test the waters. And literally, people on there saying like their sizes for everything. And I'm just like, well, there's the mystery gone. Do you know what I mean? Like, what? Yeah, and there's just always like, I don't know, Talia Storm's dad on there. That's sort of just, you know, dropping messages. You know what's really weird? In like, because I've moved now, but like where I was living previously, on my, what's it called? Grinder, when I went and tested what it was like, my neighbour, who has a wife and kids, was on it. And I was like, what? Do you say something? Or do you just kind of... Well, I didn't say anything. I don't want to be a homer. That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what I would have done in that situation, in all honesty. Like, genuinely, I have no idea.
I don't speak to me now. I can't do small talk. I just wear my sunglasses. Like, I've always got some to hand. These aren't mine. These are my friend Aisha's. But I wear them. Got my headphones in. I'm very antisocial, but it's not in a nasty way. I just don't like small talk.
I think Aisha is watching as well.
Hi.
So how has relationships and dating in the gay world, with regards to your previous experiences, but then also using like Tinder? So we'll just use Tinder because obviously we know the Grindr is a hookup app. So Tinder and your previous relationships, if you will.
Yeah.
How has that shaped who you are today and also your view on relationships?
Yeah, I'd say it's made me more of a trashier person. The standards are going down. It's brutal. So I might just go back in the closet at this rate. Do you know what I mean? I'm swapping sides. Like, why not? Autobots, Decepticons. I'm playing for the other team because I just feel like, what's going on? Like, people, maybe I'm in the wrong time period, but if it was back then, I probably... it wasn't accepted, but I kind of want like the traditional like 1950, you know, a bit like WandaVision. I want that on the couch, all dressed up, smile at the camera as you do. So that's what I want. I'd say it shaped me in the sense that you just got to be resilient. So I think it's made me more resilient. And obviously not everyone's going to like, you might not be everyone's cup of tea, and that's fine because I drink coffee. So it's just whatever your preference is. So yeah, I guess you just got to have a thick skin if you're going into the dating world, especially at gay community, because like you get judged, and like you've got to put up people like me, crazy ones. When I've got a tip though, that when I go on dates, I tend to bring me hoodie, and it's like my dating hoodie, and it says psycho on it, and so I'm like, you can't say I didn't tell you. So like subliminal messaging, I'm like, yes. So always a bit of subliminal messaging, and always wear red on dates because that provokes lust. I think that's why they always fancy me. What can I do?
Okay, there you go. Dating tips with Gideon.
Wearing pink because it makes the boys wink, and also it's Wednesday, so there you go.
Oh yeah, it is as well. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
So what can I do?
Do you know what? I'm really tempted to start a new segment where, like, halfway through a show, we just do like Gideon's dating tips.
Oh my god, I would love that. I've always got something new. So yeah,
Gideon's dating tip of the week. I love that. I'll have a think.
Should I come up with one now? I'd say
yes, go on.
Is if they want to go for food, just no time for that. The amount of times I've been on dates and they've said, "Oh, do you want to go for a drink?" And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go for a drink. There's me at home getting ready with half my bottle of vodka gone, and I turn up smashed, and then they're just like, one person literally was like, "Oh, I'm a bit hungry." I was like, "Well, you should have ate before you came." And then he goes, "I'm going to get a jacket potato on a date." I've seen it all, and obviously I felt like I had to then eat something, but I was too drunk, and I was like trying to be sober and everything. I got like this Caesar salad, didn't know what it was. I thought Caesar, like Julius Caesar, thought it got like chicken or something on it. It was just salad, and it had like little green beans and stuff like that. And I thought, and so I'm there and I'm eating it, and it was traumatic. And so when he went to look, like, oh, thank God, that's like. So I got my napkin and I like wrapped the salad up in it, and I just threw it. Like I didn't want it. And then he was like, "Oh, you went that quick?" I was like, "Starving." Wasn't, but well, I mean, I didn't even eat it, as you know. I've just told you. But yeah, I just can't do it. So yeah, if they say, "Oh, let's go like for a drink," be like, "Yeah, but is it a drink?" Because I'm not going for food, and I hate using cutlery because I'm common. I'm from Preston. Do you know what I mean? Put cutlery in front of me. I'm like, "What's that?" So just use my hands. Like, if we are going somewhere, can we just go like Mackey's? Like, I know it's not the most bougie. We can go to a bougie place, but just for alcohol, though. That's me.
Yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree. My dating experiences have always been, I want to go out. I want to get drunk. Because in my opinion as well, when the other person's drunk, you get to see what they're really like. You
This
get to
is
see,
it.
yeah, you get to see what they're really like, but then also I get to see how they handle things on the dance floor as well. Because I'm a dancer, I need people to be able to dance.
Yeah.
So I like going out, getting drunk, so I can see who they really are because they're drunk.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
inhibitions go, so they're not like playing up to something. They're just like they're just being their authentic self. But then also you get to see them on the dance floor and get to see the moves. And if they're like they can't move, then you're like, nope.
What they're going to be like in bed? You know what I mean? Like, if that's how they're gyrating on dance floor, you ain't gyrating in my bed. Absolutely not.
Love it.
So yeah. But
so yeah,
no,
I completely agree.
well, which is like I dance, but like drunk dance, I'm crazy. I turn into Britney Spears. And this is the dangerous thing, because my free date rule, that obviously it goes on the pedestal, we hold it up high, does have a loophole. It don't count if there's alcohol. So you see my problem? Because
so your dates, you only want to date people by getting drunk, but then you have a 3-date rule. But the problem is with the 3-date rule, if there's alcohol involved, then that goes out the window.
Out the window.
You're in a vicious cycle there.
That's the drunk me. That's drunk me's decision. Sober me is pure. What can I do? But yeah, I go on dates to feed the ducks at night. Like, you know. So then, and there's no alcohol involved there. So
no, not all.
Yeah. So when I get back though, glass of wine. Like, you're not going to believe this.
So with regards to, like, say for example, younger people who may be coming to terms with who they are, and they are a little bit worried about the dating world, because there are a lot of people, you know, there's a lot of hookup culture out there, and there might be other people like yourself who actually want a little bit of romance, want a little bit of dating and whatever, and kind of crave that relationship. What advice would you give to somebody who is coming out or has come out recently and might just need a little bit of guidance within the dating world?
In dating?
Yeah. I think we've lost Gideon. We'll be back with Gideon. Gideon's, I'm assuming, is having a technical error at the moment. But what do you guys think about the dating world? Have you guys got any questions? What has dating been like for you guys? Let me know in the comments, and we will find out what Gideon is doing as well. I'm hoping that he's okay. He might need to just refresh his page, but there you go. Who knows? We will find out. But yeah, let me know what you think. We're still live. I know that we're live. I've just checked. So yeah, Gideon is character, isn't he? I'm sure he's just refreshing his page, so don't worry. He will be back very, very shortly, and we will get those motivational messages and also a little bit of help and advice as well from him. Luckily, Luckily, I mean, to be fair, with Gideon, I find my life has been kind of the same, if you will. My thoughts have always been the same. I've always been the type of person. I don't like hookup culture. I don't like having one night stands. I'm not that. I'm not about that. Here he is. He's back.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what happened then. It just like you were glitching. Could you still see me? Because
Yeah, I could see you.
I could see myself. I was so confused, so I just typed away. I was like, "Is this part of the show?"
Yeah, there you go. Well, you're back. You're back. I was just about to start getting into my story then as well. So you've saved the day, so I don't have to bother.
What we was up to.
That story, ladies and gentlemen, will be another day. Okay, so let's start that again. Oh, hang on. Aisha has said, as someone who's bisexual, you just get fetishized on dating sites.
That name sounds very familiar.
So yeah, to be fair, I completely get that actually. The fact that with bisexuals, obviously you do get the fact that the men are like, oh yeah,
like free stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not about that. So
no,
I completely feel you, Aisha, and I hope that the dating world is kinder to you in the future. So let's start that again. With regards to people who are just coming out, have you got any advice for people who may be struggling with the dating world or how to maneuver it, or may just be wondering, they might be like yourself who, want that romantic life and don't necessarily like the hookup culture.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to them?
Date me. And then all your problems are solved. That's the perfect response. I want that too. Do you know what I mean? Find me on Facebook, slide in my DMs. So yeah, I do find it odd when people do slide in your DMs. Do you know, and they send you a picture of their penis? Yeah, not just a random picture.
I thought you meant like a nice little selfie.
Family photo. No, like when they send you a nude. And I've always found, do you know when people send you nude, especially in the gay culture, because like I have a penis, so if and I have access to it 24 hours a day. If I want to see a penis, I could look at my own, and a lot of the time, not to brag, like, but it's better than theirs half the time. So I'm like, if I could date myself, I would. I think that's just my absolute closing statement. Me times 2. Jobs are good, eh? But I don't even like myself. I'm always like, oh God, I'm so embarrassed, I'm cringy, like all that. But then I just think, imagine if there were 2 of me.
There you go.
Yeah, but I want an invite, so.
But I'll be a third. I'll be a third with me and me and me.
Me, myself, and I.
But what advice would you give to someone?
Oh well, I'll come up with something else. But that's option A. I think definitely go with that one. I think option B is try not to fall into the sort of traps, don't get manipulated, that sort of thing. If you know what you want, then just remind yourself of what it is you're after and why you're after it. I think a lot of the time people just want something and then don't stop to think of the reasons why. Like, would a relationship at this point in time make you happy? Then you need to ask yourself, why aren't you happy? And then it's kind of going down the rabbit hole. So I think just make sure you're doing it, one, for the right intentions and purposes, and secondly, just remember what it is you want and stick with the free date rule, as I so poorly do. So maybe some alcohol, I don't know, do other stuff. Like, not drugs, but unless you're into that, but I wouldn't advise it. But I mean, there's go for coffee. Go for a coffee date. There you go.
You can always put a vodka in a coffee.
But yeah, but like, try not to. That would be more than enough for me. Oh my gosh! Like, have you seen Loki, the series? Yeah. Well, do you know like all the different variants? That's me. We just don't know which one we're going to end up with. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm like, for my birthday, I thought it was class because my friends came dressed as different versions of me.
Oh wow!
I went as the psycho me, so I had the blood on the hands, and I was like, me vein, because I got these 2 veins that stick out when I'm angry, and like Psycho Gideon, he's never killed anyone that we know of, but he's just crazy. Hence why I wear the psycho shirt on my dates, me hoodie. Give them a little sneak preview. So don't drink on your first date and go for coffee. And if you don't like coffee, you've got alternative. Starbucks. Jobs are good, in.
There you go. Yeah, get a tea.
There you go.
Yeah.
Bougie.
What would you say would be the perfect date then?
Oh, perfect date.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'd say I had the perfect date recently. But then, despite the fact that he were obsessed with me, somehow he ghosted me. We just don't understand the world anymore. But yeah, went on the date. I think the reason it was perfect because I organised it. Because I was just like, I can't. If we're going for a drink, it has to be a drink, no jacket potato. So we went bowling, and which is just like pretty standard. But I like to do something physical, and also when they're like it's their turn to bowl, you can have like a little. Also, how strong are they? What ball are they going for? Like, do you know?
Yeah.
And are they getting straight? Are their hands, like eye coordination, all that in check? Because if we're going to have kids, you better be getting strikes. So I guess just so do something active on a date. I always think that's very fun. And then afterwards, we went to Revs, which bougie Preston. I mean, it wasn't the Preston one; it was in Wigan, so I don't know if that's worse. I mean, sorry if you're from there, but went there, and then obviously I had the cocktails, Long Island iced tea, all that lot. And but we did eat. I think this is like the one day I was like, yeah, I will eat because I was tired after bowling, and I do
worked up an appetite.
Yeah. So and I won as well. You've always got to win. So did that, and then we went to the park. I tend to go to parks a lot. I'm like,
you
know what I mean? I'm just one with nature.
Must be that.
There we go. And we fed the ducks. It was all so romantic, and then we like lied down under the tree. And like it was just us, and it was very nice and all that lot. And then he leaned in to kiss me. What can I do? And so shared a kiss. There's me rule gone as well because of the.
I know, Well, you did say that you went to Revs, though, didn't you? So you would have had alcohol, I'm assuming.
But even when I was in my drunk state, I was like, Gideon, we need to, like, talking to myself and the viewers at home in my imaginary world. And I'm like, let's not get drunk. The amount of times I go into the bathroom, chatting away, I'm just like, can you believe it? I've become a different character as well, so I'm off my head, clearly unmedicated or something. But, it was really nice. And then the next day, he came to Preston, and we watched WandaVision, as you do. We tried. We got through. The plan was to binge watch it. And I won't say why we didn't, but we got to episode 2. And I'll let you use your imagination. And then he got on the train back to Wigan. And then he ghosted me. So this is why you got to stick with 3 date rule. So that's my advice. 3 date rule, don't drink unless you can handle it, unlike me. So yeah.
So 3 date rule is a necessity, as your story has explained as well.
Yeah.
You have to stick with the 3 date rule.
Yeah.
What would be some warning signs that people need to watch out for in the gay community when it comes to dating and relationships?
Oh, I don't know if it's like specifically the gay community, but you've got to look out for Goonies, just anywhere. Like, but I tend to find more, so maybe it is in the gay community. I don't know. My personal experience, just Goonie Central. Do you know what I mean? All aboard. So I guess warning signs are just like, I don't know if it's bad, but if they're an older person, I'm like, why are you single? Like, or is it just maybe they just not met me? And that's why we just don't know. But I guess ask why they're single. I find it really odd when they talk about their exes. Like recently, this was with the one from Wigan. So he told me when we went to bowling and I'd reserved it and we were there, they went, oh, what name's it? And I said, Gideon Allen. And then he looked at me and he went, what did you just say? And I was like, what? And then he was like, your second name's what? And I thought, oh my God, we're related. And then he was like, and then we were. He just said that his ex had the same second name as me. And then he was like, you do remind me quite a lot of him and all this lot. And he just kept saying how much I reminded him of his ex. And the fact we shared the same like second name, I'm like, keep it in the family, you know? So that's basically, but I'd say that's a warning sign. If they bring up their ex, I saw a thing on Facebook that said people talking about their exes should be like more normalized because it's trauma therapy. Not me. Like, we're on a date. Maybe we've been dating a while and like you have the discussion. Date 1 and 2, and you're talking about
I mean, that's like when you're in officially the relationship, that's when you can start going, oh, let's have a conversation about exes. I mean, some people don't even need to. Some people are just like, well, whatever happened in the past, that's gone. But you know, if you're gonna do a bit like talk about exes, it's in the relationship when you're like, you know, it just comes up and you just want to bring, you know, you just want to chat about it. But you're right, you're not a therapist. You're having a date. You don't want to talk about exes.
No, I've no time
for that life.
I zone out half the time as well, so I'm just like, you know, they've got to keep me on my toes a lot, and that's another thing. Like, how long can they keep a conversation going and ask them about like their friends and family, that sort of thing? Find out, like, how's your father? I don't know where I heard that from, but I like it.
How's your father?
How's your father? And then you're like, oh, so you don't speak, Sam? Like, yeah.
But
and
Bobby,
you can make it sexual. Like, oh, you don't speak to your dad? Oh, that's all right. I can be your daddy. Like that sort of thing. Like, I wouldn't do that. But yeah, just kind of go with the flow. That's another thing. Go with the flow. I'd say that's the last one.
Yeah. Go with the flow. Bobby from the US has commented, exactly, therapy. You learn from your exes, but start fresh and focus on each other.
There you go.
Definitely good advice there. So we are coming to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that we haven't discussed that you would like the opportunity to discuss now?
Oh, there's probably like loads, but like I always say, I've said multiple times, I'm in my own world. So yeah, it'll probably come to me later, like 3 a.m. I wake up. I should have said that. But yeah, I guess like closing statement would be, just because they've got a good job don't mean they're good. Because I fell in love with a train driver. I did, and it was so romantic, like how we met and everything. So we met on the train, and I'm like, cool. Kissed at the platform, 3-date rule gone. And also, he was a train driver. But then, like, he was bragging about, like, when we went on, like, proper dates and stuff like that after we met, he basically was just, like, showing me his car. I don't know cars. Do you know, like, I just know what colour they are. And I'm just like, oh, that's a nice red car. Like, but just showing me his cars, and then he was like, oh yeah, I do photography too, and all this lot. And then he goes, oh, have a look through these. And then there was 500 pictures of his photography thing, and I'm there, and I'm like, but do you want me to go through 500 pictures? I was like, oh yeah, they're dead good then. He's like, no, you're not seeing them all. I'm there flicking through 500 pictures like that, like getting me finger arthritis.
Yeah,
it's like Tinder all over again.
Can't escape it.
He ended up stalking me, so we got rid of that.
Wow.
One. I know. Well, can't blame him. I am a delight. I would stalk me.
It has been, honestly, this has been such a laugh having you on the show. It's been like definitely very light-hearted conversation, a great way to kick off our Pride Month as well. And just wondering if people wanted to start following you and keep up with your antics and maybe, you know, catch a glimpse of your world, where can people find you?
So I'm like a bit of a social dinosaur on the networking. So I'm just on Facebook. That's it. Would give you me Snapchat, but people probably going to send me things I don't want to see. So, and I've got my own, like I already said. So just if I want to see a penis, I'll look at my own. I have that luxury. But So yeah, I guess I'm just on Facebook, Gideon Allen. Feel free to like drop me a message or whatever. And also like, because I probably should promote, because like the whole aspiring actor thing, I do have an agent, and I'm signed with the Ward Academy Management. Just not me, Luke said. Ward Academy Management. So if anyone, wants to give us a call, Netflix. There you go. Series 4. Get me in there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, you just see me in the street. I mean, I don't live there, but I'm always out. So come say hi. But that's another thing. If you wave and I'm like that and I'm not responsive, I never wear my glasses or my contacts because the world's shit. So I prefer it blurred. So that's just, you know what I mean? I think that's why I end up with Goonies. Because even me, like, well, I'll say one of my ex-boyfriends, honestly, I was so used to him blurred. And I remember I was in bed and I put my glasses on to do me, like, theory work for uni. And I turned to the side, oh my God, it was the first time I'd seen him. And I thought, oh no, what have I done here? Like, I'm in bed with a goonie. So, like, do you know, like Sloth? But Sloth's quite cute, to be fair. I do like Sloth. Yeah, I don't know what my taste is, but do you know the scene where he's wearing the Superman shirt? Yeah. I think that's good looking. He's ripped. I'm like, he could come rescue me. He could steal my chocolate bar. Do you know what I mean? Hey, you
honestly, guys. I am gagged, gooped, all of that lot over this episode. It has been absolutely epic. Have you got some final thoughts for everybody at home?
Oh gosh, final thoughts. I'd say be yourself, be the most you can be. Because that's what I'm doing. It tends to work for me. I mean, I've got a job, shockingly. So, and then I got an agent. That's another thing. So I'm like, just be yourself. I find that when you're you and you're like your authentic self, because I'm still trying to figure out who I am, because there's different versions. I'm like, I guess I'm this person today. I'll make it work. But they all blur into one. So yeah, just be yourself, and it's not a race. Do what you want. It's like turtle and slug, innit? Slowest one won it, and is it? No, it's not. I always say it wrong. It's not a slug, is it? It's like a rabbit and a horse or something, innit? What are they called?
You mean the tortoise and the hare?
Yeah, that one. I always say it wrong. Do you know what it is? I think it's because I go to that many pubs and it's like slug and lettuce and all that. Like, I just say the wrong ones. But I mean, slug and the horse can be Prestonian version.
You've created a new fable.
There you've got the spin-off.
Part 2.
Look into the camera, like jot that down.
Netflix, if you're watching or listening.
The
horse and the slug.
Debbie Ryan.
Leila Rush has commented, very refreshing and lovely guest. Stay being you.
Oh, thank you. Sending love. But yeah.
Thank you for your final thoughts. Absolutely loved it. Mm-hmm. Have you now at the end of every show, I'll give my guests the opportunity to give a quote, and it can be something that they stand by, live by. It could be something that they've heard that they just really like, or it could be something that they've made up that they just think, you know what, that's how I'm going to live my life. And I'm just wondering if you've got a quote for us today, and if you can explain why that quote is important.
Okay, yeah. So my quote, it's sometimes you love a person because of all the reasons they're not like you, and sometimes you love a person because they make you feel like home. And so I guess home is where the heart is. So wherever you are and you're feeling the love, you'll love the person because the heart's the home. Don't know why it broke. That's to come. So yeah, the reason like for that quote is I consider myself to be the male version of Bridget Jones. So that quote is from Bridget Jones's Baby. And I tend to watch like the trailers more than the actual film. Don't know why, it just gets me excited. And so I pinch quotes from like the trailers, and that was in there. And obviously it just resonated with me. I thought it's a dead sweet quote. So that's the reason behind it. So I guess that's just it.
Thank you so much for sharing your quote. Honestly, you've been such a lively character to have on this show. And it's been really, really refreshing as well. I have not stopped laughing. I'm literally in tears. It's been so good having you on the show.
Thank
And
you.
as I say, what a way to kickstart the Spill It Pride Month as well. Thank you so much for coming on the show. You are free, Mr. Gideon, to say goodbyes.
Bye. Thank you for having me, and good luck with the rest of your podcast for this month. And happy Pride to everyone.
Happy Pride.
I guess I disappear now. Bye.
There you go. That was an amazing episode with Gideon Allen talking about relationships in the gay world as part of our LGBTQ plus Pride Month at Spill It. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. What a lineup we have got for the rest of the month. However, next week specifically, we are going to be talking to Danielle Hopkins, who will be coming on and talking about all things trans. So make sure that you come and say hello to Danielle and to me as we talk about everything to do with trans and trans rights and trans within the LGBTQ plus umbrella, rainbow, whatever you want to call it. My name is Marcus Wright. And when I am not doing this, I run a radio show called A Little Bit of Marcus. And you can catch that over on Beat 103 every Monday at 7 p.m. until 9 p.m. across Central Lancashire and South Ribble. You can also follow the Instagram that I have created for specifically the radio at Marcus Beat 103 for everything to do with Spill It, for my journey on this Spill It roller coaster that it is, or for my personal socials, or you just want to get in touch with me and just have a bit of a chat or whatever, then you can head over to the Spill It website at www.spillit.uk, where you'll be able to do things like follow my Facebook, follow my YouTube, follow my Twitch channel. You'll also be able to follow all my other social medias like Instagram and TikTok and everything like that as well. The other thing that you can do over on the Spill It website as well is you can support me and the work that I do. There's 4 ways that you can support me. It's as simple as that. You can buy merch. So, for example, we have got these lovely, there we go, the lovely Spill It t-shirts that you can purchase. These are available on the Spill It website. There is also a limited edition LGBTQ plus Pride Month t-shirt that will be going up on the website tomorrow. It will say hashtag everyone is gay. And that will be available to purchase from tomorrow, and all proceedings of that will go to Mind Out, which is an LGBTQ plus charity for mental health. There are other things that you can buy out there as well on the website. They are the Spill It beanies. We're getting into the autumnal season now. You know, things are starting to get a little bit cold, which means if you'd like a Spill It beanie hat, then get in touch with me and let me know and get onto the website, because you'll be able to get your Spill It beanie hat. And there is the little bit of merch as well that has just landed. So make sure that you get that in. I've already sold so many, so thank you for those who have purchased them. The other way that you can support me as well is by Patreon. You can become an official Patreon and support me on there. You literally donate just £2 a month. That is it. Just £2. It is less than the price of a coffee or less than the price of tea, because tea, Spill It, tea, there you go. But it's less than the price of coffee or less than the price of a cup of tea. It is just £2 per month, and that helps keep Spill It going and growing and all of that lot as well. And then the other 2 ways are not monetary. You can invite people into the Spill It community by inviting them to the Facebook page or sharing the podcast links out. And also, you can leave me a review. I love seeing the reviews. And we are now officially on Amazon Podcasts as well, which also enables you to leave reviews on Amazon Podcasts and obviously Audible as well. So if you are watching this via Facebook, then you can leave me a review on there. And if you are listening to this on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, or Audible, then just click on the tab and leave me a review. If you didn't like the show, or you don't like me, or you don't like my guests, don't leave me a review. Simple as that. I only want to see 5 stars out there. Thank you so much for watching. It has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for your questions, for being so, active. And also, one more time, I'd like to say a massive thank you to Gideon for being so funny, open, honest, with us and just cheering us up as we head into our Spill It Pride Month. Thank you so much for watching, and until we spill it again, it's bye for now. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Spill It. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time to do so. Spill It goes live every week on Wednesday at 7 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And a special thank you to these amazing teacups.